Hey everybody, hello. It is Nicola here again for our beautiful look at Bitcoin right now. I think it is looking really awesome after this rally. It looks like this candle here is showing that started with the European market, started showing that we've got a rally going on and that there's confidence in this whole geopolitical situation with Ukraine now pulling out of their plea to join the EU. I think the markets reacted positively to that. Whether it's a good for Ukraine or not remains to be seen. War is always a lose-lose situation anyway. So I'm just going to send some light, love, and consciousness there so that we get some kind of sanity prevailing and the control mechanism, just pulling back there so that we don't have any more, innocent people hurt. Oh, wow, guys, you were here early. Look, hey, hi, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. That's a tongue twister. And then, Ras, it's always good to see you here. Love you guys. Thank you so much. So today, what are we going to do? We're going to do Bitcoin. Let's have a look at the big picture and then go down into the micro picture of where we are, see if there are any trade setups coming up, looking at our support and resistance lines, doing our technical analysis. We'll look at Ethereum as well. But I want to invite you all, if you haven't already joined the whitelist for the Quantum Freedom NFT collection that I am launching with a friend of mine called Anne-Marie Blades. We're having a party tomorrow. So if you go over to quantumfreedomnft.com, the link is in the description below this video, and read about what we're going to be doing at the launch party. To join the party, that would be really awesome. The times are here. It will be recorded if you can't come live. But what I want to draw your attention to is it's not just a party that's all about us and about our amazing project to raise freedom consciousness on the planet, create a paradigm shift so that people can live in peace and prosperity, right? It is about that. But the launch party is also going to dive deep into an overview of the NFT industry and how to profit from it. What to look for if you are investing in NFTs. We'll talk a little bit about our concepts as well, how you can get a 30% discount and our future plans to grow, as well as the Quantum Freedom Project. And we'll get your questions answered. We want to have a lot of fun. So if you just go over to the website now and click join the party, if you're not already on our whitelist, and if you're watching this replay after March the 10th, this will not be here, but you will see a button here where you can join our list so that you can stay up to date and be part of the community. So where are we? 8.99% increase in the price of Bitcoin in the last 24 hours, which is awesome. And if we take a big look picture, we just look to be in a rising channel, or on the monthly, a bull flag with a really big flag, right? Creating higher lows, so still bullish structure. The good news is we've also moved away from this, what do you call it, support line. I've been not sleeping very well, I have to say. Let me just have a sip of tea and... Oh, Kylie is Phoebe Moon. Oh, great. Nice to have you here, Phoebe Moon. Yeah, so it's moving away from the support line and it's creating a rising channel, which in and of itself might not be good, because remember, rising channels break to the downside more often than they break up. But who knows whether this will continue to be a channel, because we could also be creating a little bit of a triangle here, in which case it's slightly more bullish than it is bearish, right? That is what also could be going on. But the bottom line is, if we go into the daily, right, we could probably draw it a little bit more like that. We could be in for some sideways action before we break up here. and we've met some kind of resistance. So whenever this happens, it looks like we could do a little bit of a retracement. If we come on to the, oh no, actually while I'm on the daily, remember this channel follows the moon phases, and we've got the moon phases. You can get that as, it's called moon phases, as an indicator on your trading view chart if you haven't got that. And then you go, you can follow the new moon is at the top. We usually get a dump around about new moon, 1 or 2 days around that time. And we usually get a pump the day of, day before, day after, or a few days after on the full moon. So if you like that kind of TA where we're combining good, traditional, solid, technical analysis with the more higher consciousness, a little bit more esoteric, love for you to like this live stream right now, like the video right now. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, click the subscribe button, click the bell and hit all so that you get all of the tutorials. I do have a business partner on this channel called Teresa de Grosbois. She is uploading tutorials, tutorial videos while she is not able to come to us on the live stream. She's taking a little bit of a sabbatical. So there are 2 of us on this channel. We're also going to have Anne-Marie, my partner in the NFT space, coming on to talk about our NFT journey and helping you learn how to invest in NFTs as well, coming up. So watch out for that. You need to be subscribed to get in all those indicators. So back to Bitcoin, big resistance here. Now, actually, yeah, if we go here, we definitely got a bit of a new moon dump, very, very traditionally there. If we just squeeze up a little bit, see this green line here over here on the right-hand side. This is a channel that I have made where we've been trading in, where there's clear support and clear resistance, and we're right up against that resistance again, or coming right up to it. We got a little bit rejected here and here. So we're coming into resistance territory, and then there's another resistance zone here between 51,634 and 60,300 before we can say that this breakout to the upside out of this downward channel is going to fulfill itself, taking us all the way up to this fib level at 69,284, which is the all-time high, and then possibly going into price discovery. But it looks really good. Awesome. So let me see. What do I want to do here? Right. If this is a symmetrical triangle, we've come into it from the upside just. I mean, you could argue we've come into it from the downside as well, but let's just say it's bullish because it does feel like with the higher lows, we are back into bullish structure. Let's have a look at where that would take us. We go from the top of the pattern to the bottom, support resistance, breakout somewhere around about the 7th of May. And that would take us to 51,068. Now, if any of you follow Willy Woo, he's saying that this parabolic run that we've always had for Bitcoin, we might not have this market. It may be more like a drunken wobble. And Marin, who I follow, I love and adore her. She does a lot of astrology on geopolitics and crypto, has been saying she's not expecting a big parabolic run in the next couple of months because of the astrology. And we could just be trading sideways. And now Bitcoin, like if this does end up being a triangle and we don't come up here in the next few days, bust up above here to create a different pattern, come all the way back up maybe to about 46,700, and we stay inside this pattern, it's not till between April and May that we bust out of it, which brings us right to the middle of the halving 4-year cycle, where we usually turn and go into a bull run. So we're still in kind of iffy territory, not knowing what's going to happen. And I think that geopolitics, definitely COVID, has absolutely affected the crypto markets. But more importantly, I think institutions, banks getting involved in crypto, and the whales coming in, bringing in their traditional shenanigans and their manipulation of the market, and even politicians manipulating the market, with all their scare tactics, and the SEC, particularly in the United States. I think it has affected the pattern of Bitcoin, because we have a pattern where we just go up, down, up, down, up, down, but we're going straight up towards the market top, and then we come back down for a couple of years to go into a bear cycle, and we hit the bottom. Well, we came up and we've actually, let me just show you that, just remind you, the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Bitcoin rainbow chart, there we go. It's flattened out a little bit. Let me get rid of some of my bookmarks so you're not having to look at that. See how it's flattened out? It's looked very different. If you look to the left and you look at what happened in 2018 and then the 2013, 2014, right? It has a kind of a distinct pattern of going up to the middle and then coming down, and then up to the middle between the halvings, right? Here are the halvings, and then down. Every year, every cycle rather, we've extended the bull run by 2 months. So if we are extending the bull run by 2 months, that brings us to April, May, around that time. So we've got Ethereum. I'm going to look at Ethereum is in a really big triangle as well, and it's not looking to break out until April. So here's the deal. We could be trading sideways within a very big band of support and resistance for a little while longer before we get like maybe 3 weeks where we just shoot up. That's a possibility, right? So be prepared for that. Have your strategy in place for that. So the other thing I wanted to say, and this is one of the reasons why I'm getting into NFTs and why I'm offering you a 30% discount on my NFTs if you join the whitelist, is because at the end of the season, a lot of analysts are saying once Bitcoin tops and it comes down, Ethereum starts to have its like wings, and it goes up a little bit, and it brings up a lot of the higher level altcoins with it. And then when it starts to go down into its bear cycle, the smaller, more speculative altcoins start to have an altcoin season, like a smaller cap altcoin season. And then when that's over, analysts are speculating that profits are going to come out from Bitcoin into Ethereum, into altcoins, into small cap altcoins, into NFTs, and into maybe DeFi and metaverse coins that are not dependent on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin does, and not dependent on the halving cycle. So we want to start doing some more investigation in these areas so that during that 2-year bear cycle, you're not just sitting there waiting for the price to go up. You're still making profits because you're in these other side industries. And I mean, obviously, if you're going to short the market, you still can make a profit. But if you are an investor, if you are or somebody who is wanting to just build that profit, this is what analysts are saying, and you need to do your own research, obviously, because I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not giving financial advice. I'm telling you what the advisors are saying for you to go and do your own research. And this is why I'm into NFTs, because this could be where the money's flowing already. When we started going down here, and then we started going across, we're in the doldrums for Bitcoin. Already money was flowing out of the crypto market and it was going into NFTs. You know, like, I don't know if you know Edward Snowden, he's the whistleblower who is now in Russia, God bless his soul, for being a whistleblower on what the Western powers were doing in the military sector, et cetera, et cetera. He's got a NFT called Stay Free, sold for $53 million. So this is not a trivial market, right? It is not a trivial market. It's a market that you want to learn more about. We'll tell you more about it in tomorrow's launch party. So let's niche down and to see if we've got a trade here for Bitcoin. Take the MP out. You know, I always like to use the Ichimoku cloud because the Ichimoku cloud throws out in front of us what we could be doing. On the 4-hour, it has not flipped bearish, which means that there is a possibility of us coming back down. However, we are starting to look a bit more bullish because the price action is now above the cloud and we've got green ahead of us. Right? So that's cool. That's really good. But we have created a lower high here. So we could be narrowing in, and instead, you know, that big triangle that I showed you, this could actually be a triangle from here, in which case this is going to break out sooner Then the larger triangle, that would be due to break out around about full moon, which is usually when we get a pump, right? Full moon, I think, is on the 18th of March. This is the 12th of March, which is in a couple of days. So we'll draw those lines in there and we'll keep an eye open for that to see if we come back down, maybe hit 39,500, somewhere around there, bounce up and keep channeling in here. We've come into this from the upside, so that's still taking us up above this resistance zone. So that would take us to, would take us out here, out of this pattern, out of this very, very strong resistance zone we've got here, out of the top of this channel resistance zone at around about 46,300, and then all the way up to 49,494. So if you're an experienced trader, you know that you would not be putting a long in here because we've hit resistance. We could be looking at a short, and you could scalp that down there. If you're not experienced trader, I would not personally scalp that myself. Scalp means getting in and getting out really quickly into a trade and not leaving it open. I would be looking to get in on the retracement. So let's do speculate. If we fall back down, we could fall back down to 40794, could fall down to 39606. And that bounce there, we get a bounce up and come off. That's a good entry point for a long because we're creating higher lows. The other thing we can do is bring in, click out the Ichimoku, bring in the Fibonacci's and go from swing high to swing low to look for the 50%. And I've got it in green so that I can see it easily, 39776. Often if there's a retracement, we can come back down to that 50%. Or we can come back down to the 38,460 as a potential retrace. And what we've got to look for is if we break this support level here, 36593, if we break below that and head back down, then obviously we're going to retest 33,000 again. We do not want to trade under 33,500 for longer than a day. Like, it's okay to wick down there, but if we're down there for a few days, that's not good for Bitcoin, right? So if you've got any questions on that, just put that in the chat and we can look at it. But right now, the trade that I would be looking at if you short would be to short it. I'm not shorting personally because I'm in a long from here, but I am, look, I did take some profit here, and I just took some profit before we got online here as well, because we've got, you know, we've been going up and up and up and up. Look at the RSI. The RSI is overbought. So this looks like the bullish divergence that we have has gone out all the way to the top. And we've been talking a lot about this in my Discord server, Conscious Crypto Traders, which you can look it up and join. And also for those of you who are in Marcel Money's channel, I've been talking a lot about that in those channels as well. So we're watching that with bated breath. So this is we got to watch out for this. Now let's go to the 1 hour, bring in Ichimoku and see if the Ichimoku can tell us what's going on. So you'll get used to my charts because, like, I'm visionary. I get to see things before other people see them because the charts get a bit like pick up sticky. Okay, Ichimoku cloud is ready to get bullish at around about the 10th of March tomorrow rather, at 2 o'clock in the morning Central Time, which is just as the Asian markets are starting to close, and we've got going into no man's land before the FTSE and the European markets open. So we have to be careful these days. We've really got to be watching the S&P 500, really watching what's going on with geopolitics because it is affecting price action. The technical analysis we do is great, but if there's rumblings that affect the markets out there in the world, then, you know, we are seeing pumps and dumps based on the news, more so than we normally do. So just keep an eye out on that. As you know, I'm really big on spotting Bart Simpson. So on the 1 hour, that people could call that a bull flag. Right, actually, let me do the bull flag for you first. and bull flags are bullish. Actually, this is going on. This is actually starting to look like a small megaphone. Let's see. Let's just call that a bull flag, right? So that is going to give us a target of, depending on where it breaks out, we're going to have to wait to see where it breaks out, but it should break out within the next 4 to 6 hours if this is a bull flag, and that's going to take us up to 45,769. Whenever you see a bull flag or a bear flag for that matter, where it doesn't break to the downside or the upside, so we've got a nice flag and it actually keeps going, so it's elongating and it's going on and on and on and on, you have to watch out for what we call Bart Simpson, which is a sudden drop. If it's here, we're going across here, and then we keep going beyond that target there for the bull flag. When that happens and we're up against resistance and we're trading sideways for too long, we can have a sudden dump back down to 39,750 or 38,430 or somewhere in between, maybe a little bit lower, right? So watch out for that if you're placing longs once, on a breakout here. You want to be very, very careful putting longs in. And actually, I wouldn't until we're broken up above resistance, right? Because of that, we've gone on too far. We need to break to the upside now if we can continue to call this a bull flag. But because we're up against resistance here, we could be coming back down. Can you do a brief overview of how to use the Ichimoku cloud? Yes, I can do that. And I'm going to give you a different chart, a bit of a cleaner chart without all of my lines on it. Carly, there is also a training on this in the server that you're in if you go to recordings. So the Ichimoku cloud, like there's the Tenkan-shin and there's all these Japanese names, which I'm not going to go over, right? Because you can just type that into Ichimoku and do more detail. Basically, what you want to be looking at is green is flow, red is resistance, right? So when we are under the Ichimoku cloud and the cloud is above us, it usually means we're hitting resistance. And when we are above the cloud, it usually means that we're flow. If we are above the cloud and it's green, it means there's more flow for a bull run. If we are above the cloud and it's red, it means that there's a potential that we could still come back down and before we go back up again. The Ichimoku cloud throws out in front of us in increments of 16, depending on what the time frame is. So if you're on the 1 hour, it's 16 hours. If you're on the minute, it's 16 minutes, and what have you. It throws out in the time increments what could potentially happen in the future based on the moving averages, based on the Bollinger Bands, based on a number of other indicators, so we can get an idea of whether we've got bullish or bearish momentum coming into price action. The indicator I'm using, everybody, is cracking cryptocurrency Ichimoku, and that is because it is set to the cryptocurrency market, which trades 24/7, whereas the Ichimoku clouds for the stock market are only trading within a certain amount of time over 5 days a week, right? So it can be a bit deceptive if you're using those. So you want to be using the cracking cryptocurrency Ichimoku cloud. So when we get this lagging span, which is this purple thing here, this is basically the lag of what the price action is. When the lagging span comes into price action, that means we're hit resistance, which you can see here. We've got a lot of resistance. And then when we get above the cloud, it means we're breaking free into blue skies. And you can see we broke free here and we started to get some kind of bullish momentum into the market. So that's just that's the basics. Way more detailed training in the server there for you, Kylie. So you want to look that out. You want to look that up. So let's have a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum has got this long-standing symmetrical triangle with a target of 39,559, 3,500 and hang on, 3,962-ish, 3,959, somewhere in there, depending on where we break out, of course. So the further we take to break out, the lower the target is, right? So that's what we're looking at here, and it's respected it beautifully, straight down, straight up, down, tried to break out of it early, couldn't do it, came back down, went back up, came back down, and now we're going back up. So the target for the resistance, depending on when it hits, is around 2,958. So we may just be in this sideways action with Ethereum for a much longer period, unless there's some kind of major news that positively affects Bitcoin. So I think Marin's prediction that the astrology is showing more volatility within, you know, a support and resistance trading sideways for another couple of months might just play out. So you want to adjust your strategies on that. So what else? Yeah. So as far as trade is concerned, there's a setup here for a potential short because we've hit the 50% on the Fibonacci level that I did from this swing low to swing high. And here, I did it from here. So this has been in play for a while, this Fibonacci level, and we've hit the resistance beautifully, which means that there's a possibility that we could come back down to the golden ratio at 2630, but also on the 1 hour, if we go down into the 1 hour, you can see there's a potential Bart Simpson playing out if that doesn't end up being a bull flag breakout within the next couple of hours. We keep trading sideways. We could see a Bart Simpson. Let's say if it's a bull flag and it breaks out in the next hour or two, that's going to take us to the next Fibonacci level, almost up to this resistance. We might get all the way up to 2993, or we might stop out at 2952, or we might even hit resistance at the Fibonacci level at 2924, in which case you'd want to either get out of your trade or take profit for the retrace to come back down and retest this 50%. Now, I've said, whenever we see it go sideways too far, if it does not break out and we keep going sideways right up on this resistance line, and we're hitting this resistance line and we don't break to the upside, it means the resistance line is strong and it's holding, and we could see a return back down to around about 2555, 2,555 to create a Bart Simpson, somewhere around there. When Bart Simpsons drop, they drop suddenly. And they either drop all the way down to where it started, or they go just a little bit further and keep going elongated, or sometimes they break down, but they don't go all the way down. They might stop short here at the golden ratio, depending on other factors, right? So that's what we've got going on for Ethereum. So it's a waiting game, but if you love to short, we've hit resistance. So I would be looking at, potentially putting in a scalp short and scalp it down to here. If you find that in the Ichimoku cloud, you're seeing bearish momentum come in. So you can use the Ichimoku cloud for scalping really well, but you've got to get down into the smaller time frames. And it can get a bit messy, so you need to get right in here and have a look. And this looks like we're actually getting supported. When you zoom in on the 1 minute, it looks like we're getting supported, so it might not happen, right? Yeah, we're getting supported on this upline here, this trending upline. And also we've got bullish momentum coming in, and look, the candle just turned green. So personally, for me, when we're in an uptrend, I don't think shorting is a wise idea, but that's just me, right? We are creating higher lows, which means we've got bullish structure here. So unless you experience that scalping, I would wait until we get these kind of trends, when we just go down, 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 those are good times to short, right? Because a lot of shorts have been getting liquidated out. So if you're new, you do not want to be shorting in a bull market, in my opinion. Up to you, do what you want, but I don't. The whole reason why Teresa and I started this channel is too many people were losing too much money because they weren't following the rules of good technical analysis and good trading. So we put together a tremendous amount of tutorials. If you're new to the channel, go check them out. There's a lot of tutorials on Bybit, on Femex, on technical analysis, reading the market, as well as some mindset stuff, because we always like to talk about mindset on this channel as well. So you want to check that out, and obviously subscribe so that you get notified when we go live and when we upload the new tutorials. So that's it from me today. Just one last reminder to go over to Quantum Freedom and go down here and join the party for our NFTs. We're going to do a lot of training and tutorials on NFTs, as well as explain what we're doing with our project. We're super, super excited about it. We'd love to see you there. And until we meet again, folks, trade consciously. I'll see those of you that are in our Discord server. We'll see you for the daily technical analysis, and my ninjas. Special shout out to you for people who are in my private mastermind. Thank you so much for all your support, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen with us with our rallies here. Bye for now.